Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 9th to the 15th of May 2022. So we begin the week with Mercury turning retrograde on Tuesday the 10th. At 4 degrees Gemini, going to be going back to 26 degrees Taurus and then back into Gemini, culminating just before the summer solstice. So Gemini and Taurus, the main signs involved here, they'll be in your charts somewhere. And as we spoke about last week, this is a flexibility of mind. A childlike curiosity is going to come in really handy because we take everything too serious, make a linear pattern out of it. Oh my gosh, this has happened and that means that's going to happen and we get ourselves into a state of anxiety. Whereas if we're a bit more curious to say, well, oh, that's interesting, I wonder why this is happening, or why is this happening now, or what does it represent? Then not only is that a more open-minded way to look at Mercury retrograde, but also we avoid the timeline pushing forwards that things are inevitably going to lead to this, to that, and get increasingly worse. So Gemini is the Lover's card in Tarot, and there's a need here to find fusion, to find the central point, to find balance, to find neutrality, to not get pulled one way or the other. And especially as we're heading up to a completion by the summer solstice, which is the end of Gemini, the heightened point of the light half of the year and the dark half of the year, then this is very much a time for us to find that unity, find that balance within. So Mercury retrograde beginning this week, turning direct on the 4th of June, and then we're out of the shadow again by the 19th. So have a look at where 26 degrees Taurus to 4 degrees Gemini are for you, which houses and any natal planets that are involved, because nearly always there's a treat in this. If we change our habits, if we change our mind, if we change our belief structures, then we come out changed for the better. Otherwise we would have been carrying on along a road that could have been out of alignment. So sense of humour, flexibility, curiosity, and just watch what comes up, how it feels, be curious as to what it represents. Have a look for any positive changes that you can make and any lessons that you're learning, and you'll come out of this wiser and stronger. By the 11th we have Jupiter moving into Aries, and this is a very big deal because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the zodiac, and we've just had a whole host of power planets going through the last degrees of Pisces. But Jupiter goes into Aries at the end of October, November, and through most of December up to the winter solstice. We'll retrograde back into Pisces, but until October we've got Jupiter in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, really clearing the way, wide open horizons, very independent and strong, uprising, fiery energy. And with the sovereign planet of Jupiter having spent significant amount of time during the slowdowns centering on our passion and what really motivates us, then I think we're going to see a summer and into the autumn or fall of a more centred, more active, more purposeful, more direct energy finally coming in. So that's good news, because we have seemed to have been on a pretty amazing slowdown for a few years now, but looked at in the correlation with the Great Year, which is 25,000 plus years long, it's been a blip in history just to have us recenter and reset ourselves. But the main event this week, we come up to the Scorpio solar eclipse on the 16th. That's 5:12 in the morning UK time, and it's 25 degrees Scorpio. So it's very important to look at 25 degrees Taurus and 25 degrees Scorpio in your chart, again by house, and if any natal planets are involved, to see what potential message this eclipse might have for you personally. But on a general level, every year the Scorpio full moon is one of the most potent of the year anyway, and with this eclipse at the last degree stages, squared off to Saturn, then there's really going to be some wisdom delivered here, some deep sense of knowing. Scorpio's what goes on behind the scenes, something could come to light, could be playing across a financial paradigm with Taurus and Scorpio, which then ties more esoterically into our value system. So value and valuables, what we value in ourselves is often the value that we're showed back from the outside world. So those are some of the themes that could come up with this Scorpio full moon. But also at this full moon solar eclipse, we have Mars meeting with Neptune. So if you remember, over the last few weeks, maybe a month or so, we've had lots of planets, especially Jupiter and Neptune, really highlighted at the end degrees of Pisces. They were all making different conjunctions to each other, with Mercury as well. Venus went over them, now moved on into Aries, and it's Mars's chance now to go in and activate Neptune, at which point that will be most of that Piscean energy wrapped up for a long cycle. So do go back and listen to some of the previous videos to get more depth on that, but there's a sense of energizing spiritually, cleaning our vessel, rejuvenating the very cells of our body, regenerating even as we let go of what isn't important, as we let go of lots of baggage, lots of fake personality stories, the human ego, taking things too personally, taking things too seriously. We've been on a non-stop workshop with some of these old energies in Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces for quite a while now. So as Mars comes along, there's probably a almost antiseptic cleanse and a rejuvenation, regeneration of our vessel now that we've cleared it out. So that could be a very positive aspect of this eclipse. Time spent inwards, feeling our energy, feeling our spiritual force within, feeling our connection with every cell of our body, opening up and aligning to receive with Neptune. So very divine and very healing combination there. So lots going on this week. Mercury retrograde in Gemini, moving back into Taurus. Jupiter moving into Aries for most of the year. And the full moon Scorpio eclipse at the weekend, involving Saturn, Mars and Neptune. Eclipses are unpredictable. Not many of them affect us personally. It's always best to stop and observe and listen. But those are the energetic backdrops, the landscape of the week, with various themes that you're already intuitively feeling. So these can affect everybody differently, but we're having a look at mental flexibility and the sense of humour, breaking patterns and curiosity, firing up from deep within and claiming our energy back with Jupiter, and then observing this powerful Scorpio full moon at the weekend and seeing how that may influence our own personal lives. But the thing we can act upon is Mars and Neptune, with that rejuvenation like a spiritual fountain. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, I am available, zoehind7@gmail.com. I could do sessions online where we look at your chart, teach your chart, include tarot, can include numerology, creating personal ritual, looking at the months ahead, dates of power, working with the moon cycles. There's many different options, so I'm very happy for you to email me and we can arrange something customised just for you. If you'd like to learn this for yourself, I do have a more structured course in astrology, in tarot, in numerology, with course materials that we can work through together. And if you'd like to rinse out any of the remaining Piscean energies to clear your vessel, then I'm also available for coaching sessions where we can get really to the root of any blocks and patterns that need to be dissolved. So those are horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.